What's up YouTube, this is Gemini Johnny back again with another compilation of creepy TikToks to make you question everything. This is day 27 of our TikToktober series where I'm taking you through the weirdest, creepiest, and most disturbing footage I can find. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
Why is the government trying to hide giants from us? In May of 1912 at Lake Delaware, Wisconsin, a lost race of giants was dug up at a burial mound site. It is said that the skeletons had 6 toes and 6 fingers, resembling the Nephilims mentioned in the Bible in 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 20. Well, you see, giant bones are not a new finding. But what is really strange is that every one of these findings, the State Museum will show up and collect the bones, and they will never be heard or seen from again, and maybe even destroyed. With all that is being hidden from us, the question we should be asking ourselves is, what else does the discovery of giants hold for humanity? And
I mean, giants might have existed, you know? I don't know why they would suppress that kind of information, but I mean, maybe those skeletons are real. I don't know. I've heard that a lot of those photos are fake, but it's possible.
Proof that animals are evolving. Part 13. A killer whale off the coast of Washington once started the trend of wearing a dead salmon on its head. Other orcas in the pod started doing it too, and soon enough other pods in the area had picked up on the fad. The behavior had faded by the next summer, making it one of the first cultural trends ever observed in nature. Here's an amazing video of a rat using a stick to set off a trap so that it can safely snag a treat. As a result of all the rats we've killed with traps over the centuries, we've basically forced them to start evolving toward the usage of tools. Wow. This thoughtful otter at a Chinese aquarium is more helpful and productive than most people you'll ever work with. This is just one example of why otters are said to be one of the smartest animals in the water. That's adorable. The U.S. Navy's Marine Mammals program has started teaching California sea lions how to play video games. The program has trained over 100 sea lions and dolphins in underwater tasks that they can perform better than humans. These games seek to improve not only their cognitive function, but also their mental health and happiness, since they genuinely enjoy playing them.
You may have seen news saying that NASA has issued a warning suggesting a solar storm might be about to knock the entire internet offline. But here is the real story. NASA has the Parker Solar Probe to study the sun with a focus on solar wind. They recently flew this probe just 13 million miles above the sun's surface, and they found some good evidence helping to explain the origin of this solar wind. They found coronal holes on the sun's surface, similar to a shower head. But instead of spraying water, it sprays the solar wind. This, combined with the fact that we are entering the next solar maximum right now, led some people to believe that the sun might shoot a huge coronal mass ejection at Earth soon, knocking us offline. While this is possible, there is no evidence of this happening anytime soon, so you really don't have to stress.
Oh no, 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 silly, to dry it. But it exploded, and they were both found dead.
This is the most disturbing and heartbreaking video you will ever watch. Okay, so what I'm about to show you is the 911 call made by a 5-year-old girl after she found both of her parents dead. This is just completely heartbreaking, and here's the video.
Hello. Hello. Is everything okay? Hi, Mommy and Daddy. I think there's a bullet on the floor. Where's Mommy at? I don't know. I think they're dead. What do you mean, sweetheart? I don't know. Okay, your daddy's on the floor. How old are you? I'm 5 years old, and I have a dog in the house. Okay, baby. Okay. Let me get somebody right over to you. Did you go in your mommy and daddy's room? And there's blood. All over the place? Not all over. There's blood on the plant and blood on the floor. Oh my goodness. You have your little doggy with you? And 3 cats. Well, and you got some cats too? 3 cats and 1 dog. Okay. Are you the only one there besides Mommy and Daddy? I said Mommy and Daddy, and they didn't even answer. Okay. What made you wake up tonight? I think I heard a gunshot. You heard a gun? Yes, and I see a bullet laying on the floor. I think it's a bullet. Really? Who has a gun in the house? I don't Tom, I'm scared.
Oh, sweetheart, I will not let anything happen to you.
Can you send the stuff that you got?
I promise I will. And you're only 5 years old? You are so smart for 5 years old. Was there anybody else in the house besides you and Mommy and Daddy tonight? Like an uncle or anything?
No, there's no robber in the house.
Okay, well, I didn't think there'd be a robber, sweetheart. Did you have anybody staying over the night with you guys tonight?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so and the doors are all locked and everything like that. Where are you in the house?
Well, I was in my room sleeping until I heard a noise shot and it woke me up.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, obviously that's a horrific story, and that poor kid will need so much therapy. But I don't know why, like, hearing it's always 911 calls. Obviously, a kid on a 911 call is going to be a lot worse. But every time you hear those 911 calls, man, I don't even really like hearing those, because it's like people's worst moments that you're hearing. They're always so heartbreaking.
This film was cursed by the devil. On June 6, 1976, a film called The Omen was released, which angered the evil of the world. Well, you see, even though the film's producer was warned countless times that the devil's greatest single weapon is to be invisible, and he's not going to want that to be taken away from him, the story exposing the devil's work was too compelling to pass up on. Coincidence or not, what followed were a series of tragic events, from stuntmen and animal handlers being brutally killed, in mysterious plane crashes, to actors coming to near-death situations that delayed production. It wasn't an understatement to say that the devil didn't want the film to be made, even though this film enjoyed a stellar success at the box office. So, maybe it was true that.
It was a pretty good movie.
Japanese yokai, Jiki Ninki, the human-eating ghost. Jiki Ninki are spirits who eat the bodies of the deceased. They have sharp, pointed teeth which are used to peel the flesh off the bodies. Jiki Ninki are usually found near villages, abandoned temples, and old ruins. They sneak into temples when the dead are there for funerary prayers. They despise their existence and do not find pleasure in eating the dead. It is just a temporary relief for their eternal hunger. Nom 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 nom.
He was exploring a haunted park when he captures a statue doing this. A man named Alan Mora went to explore the Reino Mágico Disney theme park located in Veracruz, Mexico. Due to multiple life-taking incidents, the place was abandoned a few years after its opening in 1988, leaving the park to become a desolate land. As Alan is making his way through the haunted location, they spot a Snow White statue, and as he begins to focus on it, this happens.
No, aguanta, deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, güey, eso no es el velador. No digas perras mamadas, güey. Perdón.
The statue begins to move on its own, but as they get closer, it's seen on a different location, frozen in place. Could this phenomenon relate to the 1985 Ireland case, where Virgin Mary statues were also seen moving on their own?
I would shit myself. That I actually believe, because that guy, see, you notice how he was like, oh, the focus, please focus. Everybody else is just like, I'm cool sitting here filming on my unfocused 1987 potato. I appreciate when people realize that they're having bad quality, you know?
This is the worst cult-related mass murder since the Jonestown Massacre, but you probably haven't heard about it. 200 plus bodies were recovered from a mass grave, and a cult leader is behind their deaths. Over 600 people are still missing as well. It starts with Paul McKenzie, a radical Christian preacher. He opened his own church in 2003, and pretty quickly his teachings became alarming. He attacked other religions and told his followers that public education was evil because it teaches gayism and lesbianism. He also instructed pregnant women to avoid medical attention and give birth simply with the help of God because doctors are evil. Within a decade, Pastor McKenzie's following had grown so large that he had a compound. In 2017, authorities raided the compound and found that 43 children were living there and being denied an education. He was charged for running an unregistered facility and took a plea bargain. In 2019, authorities shut down his Good News International Church. That was the name of his church, which is ironic. So Pastor McKenzie responded by purchasing land in the Chacahola forest and moved all all of his followers there, isolating them further from their friends and family, just like Jim Jones did in the 1970s before forcing his followers to drink cyanide-laced Flavor Aid. And this is when Pastor Mackenzie started preaching a deadly message. The world was coming to an end in August of 2023, and Satan would rule the world for 1,000 years. Thus, his followers needed to starve themselves and their children to death so they could meet Jesus in heaven before that day came. The mass starvation plan had 3 phases. First the children, then the young men and women, then the rest of the men, and then Pastor Mackenzie himself last. So how did this finally come to the attention of authorities? Well, in mid-March, weeks before Doomsday, a local went to the police and said that his brother and sister-in-law had starved their children to death. Officers found the couple's sons in shallow graves. The 3rd son was rescued, but he was weak and starving. The 3rd son also told police his parents had starved them and then suffocated his brothers to death. Pastor Mackenzie was immediately arrested because he was the one who forced this couple to starve their children, but he was able to post a $73 US bail and return to base camp. And that is when the Doomsday date changed, from August 2023 to April 15th, 2023, so within a few weeks of his return. This is a quote from a former cult member who was kicked out for drinking water during the starvation phase. The moment he got back, he called a meeting, said the world was ending and therefore we, the chosen ones, needed to go ahead before the world ends and problems come. Pastor Mackenzie told his followers, quote, "As your leader, Mackenzie, I will be the last one. I will close the door, you chosen ones will proceed before me, and we will all meet with Christ." On April 13th, police got his tip and went to Mackenzie's camp where they found 15 of his followers starving and dying on the ground. 4 of them were so emaciated that they died on the way to the hospital. Paul Mackenzie was arrested the following day, and police started looking deeper into the forest. Within a week, they were exhuming mass graves. The death toll has reached 336. Most of them are children.
The worst
Mass graves. The death toll has reached 336. Most of them are children.
It's pretty cool that her and I have the same haircut. I just need that blonde stripe, you know?
The worst internet trends to ever exist. Part 1. In 2012, the Cinnamon Challenge took the internet by storm. Thousands of people were uploading videos of them trying to swallow a spoonful of cinnamon, but little did anyone know is that this was extremely dangerous. Most people ended up inhaling the cinnamon instead of swallowing. This could cause an allergic reaction and affect your ability to breathe. Because of this challenge, multiple people ended up passing away. The Blue Whale Challenge was a game that gave people tasks to do within a 50-day period. It would start off innocent, but slowly get more and more disturbing. This would all lead up to the last day where the game would ask the person to unalive themselves. Unfortunately, over 100 people passed away because of this trend.
This bridge is cursed. So in the 1780s, Edinburgh Council wanted to build South Bridge, a wildly unpopular project that tore down 3 adjacent roads and kicked many families out on the street. How did the council soften the blow?
Put a shopping centre in.
They put a shopping centre in. But as it was being built, people were not convinced it would be safe and refused to ever use it. The council was in crisis, so drafted in a well-respected local lady, who everyone seemed to go nuts for, to be the first person to walk over it. But she died 2 days before it opened and the council was plunged back into crisis. So in sheer desperation, the Edinburgh Council just stuck her dead body inside a coffin and had a funeral hearse drive over the bridge instead. Now, the local people weren't too into this and thought it was a bit of a bad omen for the bridge, which kind of came true as within years, the shops beneath it all moved out and the illegal establishments moved in, creating a cesspit for crime, gambling, body snatching and all-round bad vibes.
I don't know, sounds like a pretty good time to me.
Did aliens create us? Check it out, there's a theory that actually states that we are the aliens. I mean, why are we the most smartest advanced species on the planet? Why is there no equal species? We are the most advanced primates. The theory goes that during 6000 BC, an alien race called the Anunnaki came to Earth. They studied the species and were very interested in primates. Now look, the Anunnaki were very involved in genetic experimentation. They started messing with the DNA of primates and accelerated it, making evolution turn primates into us, Homo sapiens. They did this to leave their mark and carry their bloodline on this planet, creating a new breed of beings gifted with extraordinary intelligence and extraordinary consciousness. And then supposedly as we evolved, they slowly guided humanity. pushing us to what we have become today. And then they did their job and left. But they're always watching us, and that's why we always see UFOs hovering around the sky, never really doing anything but watching us. It's them checking on their creation. Now this is where it gets wild, because in ancient Sumerian text, they described the Anunnaki as beings who could fly with elongated heads and said they were very wise. But what do you guys think? Did we just become from the normal nature of evolution, or were we
He was just sleeping in his room one night when something calls out to him. A man by the name Ali was fast asleep in his room one night when suddenly he hears what sounds like his wife's voice calling out to him. Horrified by the fact that it's late at night and his wife's away from home, he records the event. His wife's voice can be heard coming from downstairs. But through his home security camera, the door outside his bedroom rocks back and forth on its own. Ali later explains that he attempted to communicate with the spirit of the previous owner of the house, and ever since then, he's been visited by this entity.
Louis, are you friendly? Oh, no.
On the night of July 7th, the man set out on a hike to retrieve the SD card from the camera so he could review the photos and see what he captured. He got back home and plugged the card into his computer and began scrolling through the various photos. As he was scrolling through the seemingly normal photos, he was met with an anomaly.
What the fuck? I mean,
the eye of a man or some being staring directly into the camera. Judging by the timestamp, the eerie photo was taken at 2:05 a.m. Here is the man's reaction as he finds the picture.
What the is that? 4 days ago. Oh my god, I don't even want to touch my laptop, bro. I feel like it's looking at me.
He's obviously shocked and doesn't know what to make of it. As I said earlier, it was taken very late into the night. So why would anyone be miles out into the woods at 2 in the morning? It really makes you wonder, could this have been something non-human?
I mean, I guess it could have been something non-human, but that looked like a bald guy to me. Didn't have very much eyebrows, or maybe you just couldn't see him very well. I mean, it was a trail cam, you know, they're not usually the best quality. But dude being out at 2 a.m. in the middle of the woods, it's pretty creepy. Could have been just some tweaker, or maybe he was out performing some summoning ritual in the woods and came across a trail cam and wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to be recorded doing it. Wish he would have kept going. Why didn't he show us the rest of the pictures? Maybe there weren't anymore, I don't know. Alright, let's go back and see what Timothy Chalamet here has to say.
Pictures with the most disturbing backstories, part 5. This is Travis the chimp. And he lived with Sandra and Jerome Harold since he was a young chimp and was often treated like a member of the family. However, one day he exhibited unusually aggressive behavior, which made the Harolds call their friend Nash for assistance. But when Nash arrived at the Harolds' home, Travis the chimp suddenly attacked her. And the attack was extremely gruesome. Travis the chimp targeted Nash's face and hands. It ripped off both of her eyelids and then proceeded to rip her nose clean off, blinding her and also severing several parts of her body and lacerating her face. Travis the chimp was then shot and killed by police who arrived at the scene. Nash's injuries were so severe that she underwent a face transplant and lost both of her hands in an attempt to save her life. But miraculously, she would pull through. I would show you pictures of the attack, but they're extremely gruesome and I probably can't show them. So instead, I will play the 911 call made by the Harolds as Nash was being attacked by Travis the chimp. And you can hear the chimp in the video going absolutely crazy.
What's the problem? Send the police!
What's the problem there?
The chimp killed my friend!
What's the problem with your friend? I need to know.
Send the police up! With a gun! Hurry
Who
up!
has a gun?
Please, hurry up! He's killing my girlfriend!
What is the problem?
He's killing my friend!
Who's killing your friend?
My chimpanzee!
Oh, your chimpanzee is killing your friend.
He ripped her apart! Hurry up!
With a gun.
Hurry up, please!
There's someone on the way.
With guns, please! Shoot him!
What is the monkey doing? Tell me what the monkey's doing.
He ripped her face off!
He ripped her face off?
He's trying to attack me! Please!
Okay,
hurry.
I need you to calm down a little bit. They're on the way. Can you put yourself away? I don't want...
Woo! And that's why I don't have a pet monkey. I would love to have a pet monkey, but I would be too afraid it's gonna rip my face off someday. So, alas, no pet monkey. Man, that's a rich person problem. That is a rich problem to have. My monkey killed my friend. Sorry, I shouldn't make jokes about that, I guess.
Japanese yokai, Hitobashira, the human pillar. Hitobashira are a horrifying practice of burying a live human in the foundations of important buildings.
Whoa.
In ancient times, this was a common practice for large construction projects. However, there is evidence that this practice is still being used today. This practice was used as a magical ward for the building being built. It was believed that the sacrifice of a human soul would appease the spirits in the area. Not only that, it was also used to ward against assault, fire, and disasters from humans or nature.
I try not to question other countries and their practices too much, but where was the logic in that? I don't know, I guess you believe in like ancient magic and stuff. Which I do, so. But don't worry, I'm not gonna bury any humans in my building.
A couple of fishermen spotted a mysterious luminous object in Bridge Surf Beach in Puerto Rico recently. Check this out.
Oh. It might be like a sub.
They approach the mysterious light in hopes of figuring out what it is, but the more they approach it, the more mysterious it becomes. They notice how it keeps blinking on and off for some reason, and then they approach it a little more, and this is what happens. They follow this mysterious light for a few more minutes, and what happens next baffles the fishermen entirely. Check this out.
En el puente y está la boya, era la boya. El puente está a mano izquierda, Mira eso, mira.
A humanoid being can be seen walking very fast next to the luminous object. At a certain moment, they actually capture its glowing eyes. Check this out.
Mira eso. ¿Hay algo ahí? Mira algo ahí.
Ew.
Yo no sé qué carajo es eso. ¿Dónde está atrás? Yo no quiero saber. Dale.
Merman?
On July 25th, 2005, something very creepy happened on a SpongeBob episode. Let's talk about it. I'm going to show you the clip very soon. In this weird episode, it shows SpongeBob going through the door and falling down onto the Krusty Krab. Patrick is confused. He's like, SpongeBob? This is when the first glitch of this episode shows. It looks like SpongeBob is going up and down and he's gasping for air. Soon after, the other glitch happens, and it's him and Gary in a shoe now staring at the screen. They're staring at the screen, not blinking, and there's a static noise in the background. It is very creepy considering this is a kid's show, so a lot of children are obviously freaked out. But let me show you guys that clip right now.
Hi, SpongeBob. SpongeBob.
So as you guys can see, that episode is very strange. The fact that SpongeBob teleported into the Krusty Krab kitchen, then it looks like he glitched out and died somehow, and then him and Gary are now in the shoe staring at you. They were getting ready for bed one night when this happened. A Facebook user by the name Juan and his wife Nicole recorded a video through their home security cameras of something they can't see attacking them in their room.
Eso no creo que. ¿Lo viste? No creo, hermano, se lo juro, eso no es. Mira ahí, mira, se lo pide disculpas. Mira, cómo lo pongo en el mundo. Y ahí fue la china, mira, ahí abajo una china, mira. Eso es lo que la puso mal ahí.
In the video, as they're in bed, something pulls the sheets. Then, as Juan goes to investigate, They're attacked by an unseen force. But as Juan quickly picks up his wife and tries to leave, this happens.
Mira, ahí si la bajo en peso. Mira, oye, mira, son los cuadros. Mira, mira. Ahí ya se ya cae. Ahí, mira, ahí ya no puede más la china, mira. Mira. Desde el televisor, hermano.
Whatever's causing all of this clearly doesn't want them there.
Whew. That one was crazy, man. Once my stuff starts going flying, yeah. How many locks did they have on their door? That was crazy. It took them so long to unlock that door. Man, you throw my TV, I'm grabbing some salt.
The worst torture methods in history. In ancient times, there used to be a torture method where the feet of a prisoner were soaked in water. Then a goat was brought to lick the feet. Now, at first, it caused tickling, but soon, due to the rough texture of the goat's tongue, this turned into unbearable pain as the goat licked all of the skin off. It only took 1 or 2 hours to get prisoners to reveal information. In ancient times, when people would unnecessarily fight with their neighbors, the person would be tied to a chair and dropped into water, close to the point of drowning. And this was repeated until the person finally promised to change their ways. Finally, there was the heretic's fork. This was a horrifying device with 2 sharp ends, which was fastened around the neck of an accused person. The sharp ends dug into their neck, causing severe pain if the person tried to lower their head. Over 2 to 3 hours, the device would slowly pierce further into their neck.
You guys know about the night lady? Night lady. This shit is crazy. The night lady is centered in Chihuahua, Mexico, and it's not an urban legend, something that actually happened. It was like a literally epidemic that would happen in a little town. So in this little town in Chihuahua, Mexico, was literally being haunted by this lady called the night lady. In the day, she would get on roofs and she would wait on the roofs of the person's house, and when night would come, she would literally go inside people's windows and steal their children.
Wait. Okay, so like she'll wait on the roof during the day.
And the whole day till night, she goes through the windows and she steals the children. She has a knife in hand, and there's like only one police sketch of her because one child was luckily escaped from her grasp, and this is how she looked.
But like, is she like a ghost or an actual person?
She's an actual person.
What happened to the kids? Like, are they like dead?
Every kid she would grab, they would go missing. This is the only sketch of her.
Oh fuck that! That bitch looks like a Karen.
But one night, a girl was around that town at night. She heard ruckus outside on the roof, and she took the only picture of this lady, and it's fucking terrifying. Look at this shit.
So she's just chilling inside on top of the roof.
What the
That's why I live in an apartment, so nobody can stand on my roof. So there you have it, folks. That's day 27 in the books. If you're enjoying this kind of content, you can check out the entire playlist right over there. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe right over there. And until next time, which is tomorrow, peace.